Alright, so I'm gonna keep this quick. I just wanted to come on here and break down how I caught this SPX trade on September the 29th, which was on Thursday. Okay, so starting off on the daily, as you can see, I'm just gonna throw up the line chart. We have a bearish breakup structure, so we know that momentum is bearish, so we want to be looking for sells on our entry time frame. And also I'm going to go to the 4 hour as well, and you can see that once again structure has been breaking bearish, so that's another sign that we primarily want to look for sells on our entry time frame, which is the 5 minute. Alright, so now I'm on the 5 minute time frame, and you can see that I'm just going to put on the line chart that structure has been breaking bearish. So now that we know that structure has been shifting bearish, what we can do is we can mark out our supply zone right here. And what makes this supply zone invalid? For one, we have our breakup structure change of character right here. All this means is that the trend is starting to change. So as you can see, we did have minor breaks of structure right here to the upside, but because the major trend was actually bearish, this was just a small retracement. We had this change of character right here, signaling to us that the trend was starting to shift back bearish. So I had marked out the zone. Another thing is that it was a fair value gap, so I'm just gonna throw on, okay, hold up, actually gonna replay price. Okay, so price had left a fair value gap right here, or an imbalance. There's multiple names for it. I just call it an imbalance or gap, but price had left this gap right here, so that was confirmation for me that this supply zone was high probability. The reason why I didn't choose any of these supply zones up here is because as soon as price broke structure or left this zone, it came back up and immediately tapped it. So as soon as it tapped it, that made the zone low probability for me, and I immediately said I'm going to favor taking a trade off of our current zone once we see a price action confirmation. So now I'm going to play price out, and as you can see, we get a reaction into our zone, and what I'm looking for is a bearish candle, which we got our bearish candle to print. So now I'm looking for price to break this candle's low for us to take a valid entry. So now I'm going to just put our risk reward tool. I had stopped somewhere above, it was a little bit above this entry candle's high, just to give it some room. The safe stop would have been above here, but I just had a little bit above. I think it was around like 8 pips or so. It wasn't a big stop loss at all. Now that we have everything ready for our entry, I want to talk about risk management, because everybody manages risk differently. What I do is as soon as price hits R1R, I make my trade risk free. So if the price comes back and stops me out, I don't lose any money since the trade is risk free. But everybody has their own rules to managing risk. I also took partials throughout this trade to help me stay in it longer, so that's one thing that I wanted to work on. So our 1-to-1 gets hit. As soon as my 1-to-1 got hit, I moved my stops to break even, and I made the trade risk free. I also took some partials right around here as well, and then my next target was immediately down here for 2R, which got hit, and I secured even more of the trade, and then I ended up leaving runners. My original target was down here at the previous day's low, but another target was the 15-minute, this high probability 15-minute demand zone down here. So I knew that as soon as price got down here, we would see some sort of rejection. Also, these lows could have been take profits as well, but I was just aiming for this because I was leaving runners at this point. I had secured most of the position, so I was pretty much willing to let the trade run for a little bit. So now I'm just going to actually play price out, and we're just gonna wait. And then price taps into our zone, and you can see we get an immediate reaction down here. So price did end up hitting our final TP, and for me personally, I secured most of my profits. I closed all my position honestly around 4R, which was right around this low, and the reason why was because we had come to the zone. I was seeing multiple rejections down here, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna hop out the trade right now. I had secured more than enough on the position anyway, so now I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna see if price hits our final take profit, and we did end up coming down here to our final zone. So this was definitely a huge W on Thursday for me. Alright guys, so I hope you did enjoy today's video. That's all I got for this one, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.